So how does a glorious civilization at the absolute peak of its power and artistic achievement just suddenly begin to crumble? Well, we're about to dive into the story of Copán, a magnificent Maya city whose golden age was completely shattered by a single, shocking act of betrayal. Tucked away in a Honduran valley, you'll find the ruins of a city so artistically advanced, it's often called the Athens of the Maya world. For centuries, Copán was this beacon of culture and power, and its story is literally carved into these incredible stone monuments. Each one tells a piece of a truly dramatic history. So let's set the scene. For over 400 years, we're talking from the 5th to the 9th centuries AD, Copán was the capital city of a major kingdom. It absolutely flourished in this fertile valley, a strategic and powerful hub right on the very edge of the Maya world. Back then, its name was probably Uaxaclajuun, and its location was crucial. As a kingdom on the southern frontier, it was pretty much completely surrounded by non-Maya peoples. Now, that made its unique cultural identity and its power all the more significant. Okay, so a powerful dynasty of 16 kings ruled Copán for 4 whole centuries. But it was during the reign of its 13th ruler that the city reached its absolute zenith. We're talking a true golden age of artistic and political might. And this was the man at the center of it all, Uaxaclajuun Ub'aah K'awiil, a king famously known by his nickname, 18 Rabbit. His reign, it marked the absolute pinnacle of Copán's artistry. The sculpture you're looking at here, Stela H, is just a stunning example. I mean, notice how it's not just carved, but it's sculpted almost fully in the round. That was a revolutionary style that really defined the city's golden age. And 18 Rabbit's confidence? It was boundless. He commissioned 7 of these masterful stelae. He launched huge construction projects like remodeling the city's famous ball court, and he boldly declared that Copán was in the same league as the great Maya superpowers like Tikal, K'inich Yax K'uk Mo, and Palenque. But you know how these stories go. At the very height of this glory, the unthinkable happened. A trusted alliance would turn deadly, and a single act of betrayal would trigger the downfall of the entire kingdom. And you have to understand, at this moment, Copán's power seemed absolute. 18 Rabbit was a giant in the Maya world. His city was a beacon of artistic and military influence. The idea that this could all come crashing down, it would have been totally unimaginable. So here's where everything changed. In 724 AD, 18 Rabbit installs a loyal lord on the throne of a smaller, subordinate city called Quiriguá. Classic political move. But just 14 years later, that same vassal captured his king and 6 days later publicly beheaded him. It was a stunning betrayal that sent absolute shockwaves across the entire Maya world. The impact was immediate, and it was devastating. The execution of their divine king plunged the city right into a crisis. All major construction just stopped. No new monuments were raised for 17 years. It's like the engine of Copán had suddenly and completely ceased. And while the city would eventually try to rally, it never fully recovered. This one political disaster set in motion a long, slow decline that would last for centuries, leading this once mighty metropolis toward its eventual abandonment. See, at its peak, the kingdom of Copán was home to over 20,000 people. The valley was massively overpopulated, and the city was already struggling with a lack of resources. They had to import basic stuff just to survive. So that political crisis, it just magnified all these problems that were already bubbling under the surface. Over the next 4 centuries, the population just collapsed. From a bustling capital of over 20,000, it dwindled down to fewer than 5,000 inhabitants. The great ceremonial center was abandoned, left to farmers who were just picking through the ruins. And if you want the most powerful symbol of the end, here it is. In 822 AD, the last known king, K'inich Yax K'uk Mo, commissioned this monument, Altar L. It was meant to show the line of kings, just like the famous altars of his predecessors. But it was never finished. One face was started, but the others were left completely blank. A silent stone testament to a dynasty that had just suddenly ceased to exist. It's chilling. But the story doesn't end with its collapse. Not really. The legacy of Copán is written in stone, and what was lost to history was eventually found again, revealing one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. It's really something to see the gap between then and now. You can just imagine this vibrant ceremonial city, right? Kings and priests in brilliant feathers, standing before these monuments. And then you see the reality today, silent, weathered ruins. They're a ghost of that former glory for sure, but it's a ghost that still speaks volumes. The rediscovery of Copán was a slow process. It was mentioned in a letter to the Spanish king way back in 1576, but it was really popularized by the explorer John Lloyd Stephens in 1841. But even then, the city faced a modern threat. Get this, the Copán River was actively eroding the site, washing away entire structures. It took a massive preservation effort, including diverting the river itself to save what was left. Finally, in 1980, the site was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, ensuring its incredible story is protected for the future. And that brings us right back to our final question. The story of Copán is just a dramatic reminder of the fragility of power. It leaves us to wonder, how can a civilization that seems so absolute, so artistically and politically dominant, be sent into a terminal decline by a single catastrophic event? Really makes you think.